Joao, could you tell me how much you've made in total GMV in the last 3 months that you've been doing this since you started?
I hit 400K in exactly 90 days, and I'm just really close. Probably 2 more days, I'll hit 500K.
Right.
And I just quit my job, knowing that I had like this sort of confidence that either way, I know how to make content. So I just went full in. Like I quit my job without even like, I don't know, having a store set up. I just knew it that I'll have a couple months to make it, and that's exactly what I did.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Social Army Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce, and I have somebody who's pretty unique with us here today that I'm actually really excited to interview, and somebody who's probably going to be helping us in the Social Army with the Spanish side of content creation. His name is Joao, and he has a page on TikTok that is all Spanish content, which is the main reason I made a video about this a couple of days ago, telling people if you are bilingual and Spanish is a second language of yours, take full advantage of that Spanish American audience in the United States because it's massive and people put a lot of trust behind that. So as always, without any further delay, I want to go ahead and introduce him and have him give a little quick backstory about who he is and how he got started on this. Joao, if you would.
Thanks for having me, Bryce. Yep. So
Course,
my name
man.
is Joao. I've been doing a TikTok shop affiliate for a little bit over 3 months right now. So I started this pretty much because I was doing drop shipping since July last year. So a little bit over a month right now, and more specific, what they call organic drop shipper. So I started in that route, like paid traffic, where you pay to Facebook ads, Google ads, that sort of stuff, and lost a lot of money on it. That's when I start hearing about, organic, creating organic content, and a sort of switch off to paid traffic to organic. That's why I started creating content, my own videos, and uploading not just TikTok to across short form platforms like YouTube and Instagram as well. So basically, that's sort of my journey into content creation. But as an affiliate, I only started 3 months ago, and my whole idea was not even to be affiliate, was to be a TikTok shop seller. And I have gone through the whole route of, creating my own product, private labeling, sourcing, and making sure you have it this air in a warehouse in US. So I had to a point that I was like ready to sell, and then couple issues happen, and I mean, if it's not to be, it is what it is. That's when I started to immediately I just say, if it's not to be a seller, I mean, I already know how to make content. I would just
Sure.
be affiliate. That was it. And that's what I've been doing since end of July, so a little bit over 3 months now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. And, and sometimes there's a lot of difficulties trying to set up a shop within TikTok anyway. I mean, there's a lot of, I's to dot and T's to cross, and I've noticed a lot of problems with it. But good for you keeping that mentality. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. It is what it is. I love saying that all the time.
Yeah.
And jumping into the affiliate side of things was smart. Was there a particular person that you saw that made you think, maybe I'll try the affiliate side instead, or?
I don't remember specific particular person. I mean, I knew it right from the get-go when I started,
Sure.
talking about TikTok Shop, as I was just really into content creation.
Right.
It was just a matter of time for me to do that sort of switch between drop shipping and into affiliate. And the whole process, like in the back of my mind, I had like, this little voice where just like, if you don't pursue like this, if you don't go through this all the way, you're not going to make it. And that's why I think I hold back a lot to do this sort of switch into drop shipping to be an affiliate or a seller, because I was just full in on drop shipping, and doing this as still having a full-time job. But back
Currently?
in, not right now, not right
No.
now.
Okay. Okay.
Not right now. When I decided to be like sort of a seller, I had obviously a couple of money saved up, and I was
Hmm.
just like, oh, this is going to be my business. So I have everything set up to go, and I just quit my job to pursue that. And
That's a
obviously
big leap. Wow.
knowing that I had like this sort of confidence that either way, I know how to make content. I know how to be a seller. I know how to navigate through the business. So I have been in
Right.
both ends. So I just went full in. Like I quit my job without even like, I don't know, having a store set up. Like that,
Wow.
that was it. I just knew it that I'll have a couple months to make it, and that's exactly what I did.
Wow, that's such a hard thing to do, man. I mean, that takes. I mean, a lot of people view a job as security factor, and to have just a few months of savings put up to survive and know that, hey, I have 3 months to make this work, and if I don't, I'm either screwed or I got to go back and get a job. But at the end of the day, I guess going back and getting a job isn't so bad, but it does kind of take a toll, on that pride factor. But good for you. I mean, man, when I
Exactly.
quit,
And
I was the
and
same way.
what is crazy is like I had it like sort of set up like 6 months. Like I knew it that I
Right.
had a sort of 6 months timeline, like 5 to 6 months. So I quit my job by the end of January. So it was going to be like 6 months right in when it was just everything went wrong. Like literally, like I was about like to do I need to find a job? Like what do I do right now? Because I don't even have much money to pay my bills. Maybe I'll hold off like, I don't know, a month or so because I
You
have,
quit in January.
yeah, end of January.
Whoa,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So I was just
That's
like,
crazy because right in June, July is when you started. That's insane. I mean, hey, it worked out. That's a sign all in its own, you
exactly.
know?
Exactly.
Wow.
Like, but I knew it, like, even if I had to look it up for like a job, like just for the pay the bills, I was still gonna do that. Like,
Sure,
that was
sure.
it. That was it. It was just like, obviously to pay the daily stuffs and in the meantime, because that's what I've been doing my whole journey. But quit was not an option, like at all.
Good, good, good. I mean, I've been trying to make something work for 10 years. I tried drop shipping. I started drop shipping, trying it back in 2020, or I'm sorry, 2016 when it first became a thing, when the fidget spinners were going wild and people were drop shipping fidget spinners way back then. Couldn't get it to work. I tried stocks. I tried crypto. I tried SaaS. I tried social media marketing. I tried everything. And I couldn't get anything to work except for affiliate marketing with TikTok. But that brings me to the point of there's no quit. When you have a passion to find a way to make money, especially online because of how lucrative it really can be, quitting really just isn't an option because there's so many different opportunities out there that can bring you the success that you're looking for. You just got to find one that clicks and works for you. And it took you 6 months to figure out that, hey, the affiliate program might be it. But now here's the crazy part. For those of y'all that are watching this, if this is your first time ever watching something TikTok shop related, Joao, could you tell me how much you've made in total GMV in the last 3 months that you've been doing this since you started?
So we're going over, I think, really close to 100 days right now, and I'm about, I don't know, 15K to half a million in GMV.
That is
So I
insane.
hit 400K in exactly 90 days, in 10 days right now, and I'm just really close. Probably 2 more days I'll hit 500K.
Right. So, and that's in a 90-day time frame, just over $400,000 in total GMV. And for those of you that are unaware, your average commission on TikTok is anywhere between 15 to 20% roughly. You guys can do the math there. He's brought in quite a bit of commission and it's probably worth every bit of learning this entire process to get it to really pop off. So, I mean, that's good for you, man. I mean, $500,000 in GMV in about 100 days, just shy of, is just insane. I mean, that's great. And the craziest part about this, to me at least, is the fact that it's all Spanish content in the US. He's not speaking English selling to, regular, Americans in this sense. He's speaking Spanish, selling it to the Spanish Americans that are based here in the United States. It's virtually an untapped market, and I love seeing it happen. I love that. That's
Even
amazing.
even more crazier is that it's not even like my first, not even my second. It's my third language.
Your third
I
language.
yes.
That's insane.
I'm still to this day not like, I don't know, 100% comfortable speaking in Spanish, and that's the whole thing. Like since I had all the sort of tools of making faceless content, doing drop shipping. So till like 2 months ago, like I would say 80%, 90% of my content were all faceless. So I have done like pretty much everything, like faceless, with face, without face, AI, not AI, like tons of stuff. Um, but one guy, like he's Mexican, and he gave me a tip, like you will crush once you show your face and you actually start talking. And I took the advice like pretty much on the same day. Like I was still obviously a bit of a camera shy, because like
Sure,
I never
sure.
been in front of a camera. Like I always behind. Like I was so comfortable doing voiceovers, transitions, all sort of stuff.
Right.
but not talking to the camera, especially in a language that is, not my native language. So till this day, I'm still learning, what is really nice about it, like one of my viral videos that I've done like back in last month, I got like a lot of engagement and really good engagement because I have misspelled, I have said something wrong on the video. And I knew it before posting that was wrong, but I just say like,
Right.
I'm not gonna redo the whole video again. Come on, I'll
Right.
just post it. That was it. So, and that video is right now like close to 4 million views, and
Wow.
just that video alone, I have generated $80,000 in GMV.
Wow, that's great. That's insane. What product is that on?
It was ergonomic pillow, like the
Oh
cervical
my
ones.
gosh, man. I
Yeah.
have that pillow. It's not on this couch. It's in my living room. I need to make a video on that pillow. I know so many creators over the past like month and a half or so that have blown up and made serious amounts of money with that thing. That pillow is
Yeah.
awesome. I've had it for months, but I've just never found a creative angle to take with it. But I just got to create. I just got to do it. That's crazy. And is that video's in Spanish as well, right? All
It's
your content's in Spanish, correct?
Yeah, all Spanish, all
All
Spanish.
Spanish.
I've only done like I probably I don't know 10, 12 videos once I started like creating my account in English.
Ah,
Um, and that's when I started like thinking to myself, it's not necessarily someone that said like you just create a video the other day saying that, but I just knew it. That was a specific demographic that was not being hit. Like
100%. Yeah.
obviously there was a lot of Spanish content created right now, still very very less in comparisons to English or American speakers.
100%.
But I did understand there was a need for that specific demographic, and I would just say, you know what, I was just gonna do Spanish, and that's what I've been doing since then.
That's awesome. Now, you said on that video that's at 4 million views. I want to kind of backtrack here a second. And then I have another question for you leading into the languages. But you had said that you had messed something up in there. What exactly was that? And was that like the focal point of the engagement on the video?
No, it was not a focal point, but a lot of people just like let it go. But since I had also the captions, like the auto captions on, so TikTok even like highlighted my mistake. So that caught a lot of people attention. And it was about a neck pillow, and I was saying probably 3 times through the whole video, neck wrong in Spanish.
Oh, no, that's funny.
So it was not like something else. It was just neck pillow, and I would just keep repeating the same word over and over, wrong, and that was it. And it was
That's
a video
funny.
like I hesitated like a little bit. Like I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to post it. It was pretty raw. I know that I have said that wrong. It was like first take. I just
Right.
recorded in pretty much one take and obviously edit some parts, and that was it. And then what is interesting is that I have done like the same video like 3 times after that, like right after I posted, but it hits like it built up so quickly the views that I never posted the other ones. Because I was afraid to also get like some original content, like the script was exactly the same, everything word by word. So the raw one, the wrong one, that's the one that went viral.
That's so funny. I always tell people it's the ones that you least expect to pop off that do the best. Sometimes my worst videos end up doing the best. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I got to turn my fan on. It's getting a little hot. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Usually I'm prepared for all this kind of stuff, but today's just been a little hectic. All right, cool. So in regard to what you said in the very beginning, you said Spanish isn't even your second language, first language, or second language. It's your third language. So what is your first language? I mean, where are you from originally?
So my first language is Portuguese, and Portuguese from Brazil. I'm from Brazil, but
That's
I
awesome.
have some family in Portugal. And then I moved out to Portugal, and I sort of completely changed my accent. Now I don't speak Brazilian Portuguese. I speak Portuguese from Portugal.
It's
And
two different
it.
dialects.
It's like British English and American English. So
Okay. So it's slightly
it's
different
all,
in a few ways.
yeah, it's all about a few words and accent. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's so strange to me seeing that because I am unapologetically American and ignorant in that case. We're Americans are very, very American, for lack of a better term. And I'm one of them when it comes to just the ignorance of other countries, just for the sheer fact that I just have not educated myself in that regard. However, I have found myself becoming more interested in that while doing TikTok Shop, because there's just all types of walks of life in this. You is a prime example. You've taken the ability to use the knowledge you have on a third language. I take it English as your second language, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you've taken your ability to learn Spanish as a third language, not even the hardest language to learn, and use your skills to your own advantage while also still being somewhat at a disadvantage, because it's still not perfect, but you found a way to really make it work. And I love how you've been able to do that. Most people would not take the time to learn a second, hell, even a third language, and then utilize that skill to make money online through affiliate marketing. I mean, it's just, it boggles my mind what you're doing
Absolutely.
here.
And so this week I've been in discussion with my girlfriend, and this week she also made the call, and she quit her job like 2 days ago. Yesterday was Monday.
She's going to start this?
And she's going to start help me out. I'm going to teach her everything.
That's awesome.
She doesn't speak a single word of Spanish, and I'm going to teach her everything. Script, product, everything. I'm going to teach her everything. Yeah.
How long did it take you to learn Spanish, and how long have you known Spanish for?
So I did like a study abroad in Peru for half of a year. But prior to that, I haven't spoke like a single word in Spanish. So I just went and I learned it there.
Wow.
But that's been like a long time ago. That was still when I was in school. I have a couple experience on my previous work, but meetings that do in Spanish, but it's not something that I use on my daily basis at all. Right now, it's just I'm training, I'm improving as I go, as I create content, because it's been a long time that I don't speak Spanish.
That's wild. I mean, that's so crazy, man. I've never met anybody like you in this regard. I mean, that's awesome. My uncle, he spoke, I think, 5 or 6 different languages fluently, but he was also in the Air Force, and he worked for NASA and did all types of crazy, like, secretive stuff. So like he knew a lot of languages in that place, but I've never met somebody else who speaks, more than at least just 2 languages. Most people I know either speak English or Spanish, or English and some sort of other language outside of that. And the fact that you're using your third language to capitalize on is insane. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy because a lot of people, like, I think, undervalue like the sort of power of learning a new language.
100%, yeah.
And especially all the Latin language, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, they sound kind of similar, but it's that type of thing. Like, I think if you know, and and especially Spanish. I had a couple friends, and
never mind, it's back.
I was just saying, talking about language, and I think a lot of people find it pretty similar. Portuguese with Spanish, Spanish with Italian, but one thing is you think you can talk. The other thing is you create a video with a language that it's not yours, and still be able to sell and convince people. Because people know, obviously, that I'm not Latino, I'm not Mexican, not Colombian. They absolutely know, but I can still pass, like, and still have the confidence to sell something. So that's another layer on top of that.
I think that's the craziest part, because you're absolutely right. I mean, Puerto Ricans who speak Spanish know the difference between, Puerto Rican Spanish versus, Mexicans, or from Mexico and Mexican Spanish. Same with the ones from Cuba. Like, I worked in the car business. I worked with a dude that was from Cuba. I worked with a lot of Puerto Ricans, and then a lot of Hispanics from Mexico. And they all spoke a different type of Spanish, but they all knew, the differences in between. It's the same way with everything else. It's just crazy to me. And the fact that you're still able to convince those native Spanish speakers, even though they can tell that you're not native in that sense, they still, put the trust in you, because you obviously took the time to learn a language, and you do well with it. So, I mean, that's just crazy. I grew up, my grandparents spoke Spanish fluently, and I grew up around it. Never learned it. I really wish I did, because I could have used it to a massive advantage to where I'm at in my life now. I would love to learn, Spanish. I think that would be something pretty cool to do. And I feel like Spanish would be a little bit easier to learn than a few other different languages. But that's awesome, man. So real quick, you've been doing this for 3 months, and you were trying drop shipping and everything like that prior to. Did you, on the organic side of drop shipping, I wanted to ask, the content that you were making, was it similar to what you're making now, or was it, were you gearing it towards trying to just find viral ways to go viral? Because obviously organic traffic's hard to do. TikTok Shop kind of pushes your traffic. If it's good, it's good. It'll push it out. But on the dropshipping side, you're dealing with a different side of the algorithm.
Yeah.
What was your way of creating content over there? And is
So,
it, did it not work the way you wanted it to, rather?
I think it's completely different in a way and
Mm-hmm.
somehow like kind of similar. So it depends on the product. It depends on exactly what you're trying to sell. And that's like sort of my first month or the first, I think probably 2 weeks. I was just too focused on mimic the style they already have learned, like on drop shipping.
Okay.
My first product was like this smart projector, you know, that mini one.
Yeah, yeah, the little
Um,
white and yellow one.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that one was actually my first drop shipping product. So the smart projector was actually my first drop shipping product. So when I started looking around stuff at the house, like that's advice that I'll give to people. And you obviously have mentioned this, like just look around stuff that you already have in a house. Like, and I already have tons of product because again, doing drop shipping. Um, and this smart projector was sort of going viral by the time that started. It's by now it's like a completely saturated product into the
Yeah.
drop shipping war, and still a little bit on TikTok. But that's what I had it in hand, and I was just like, I'll give it a chance. I already know how to record it. I know how to make the videos. I have gone viral doing drop shipping videos about that, and that's what I did. So the first month I was just focusing a lot into tech products, that sort of stuff. I had 2 3 videos went viral with that product, and pretty much my whole GMV for the first month was just for that product. And that's when I started sort of changing or switching up my style more into other products and just branching out. And I don't think I'm into a niche right now. I do like pretty much everything.
Right. I'm the same way. I don't really like niching down on TikTok Shop, with, at least with the affiliate kind of stuff, like you kind of do with drop shipping. Like with drop shipping, one product stores became really popular. There was a guy named Scott Hilsey that made that kind of like a real big thing. And those one product stores are good, you know, because it's very super niche, but you run out of a customer base eventually, right?
Yeah.
But not niching down on TikTok, I think, is the best way. And if you do want to niche down, niche into some sort of a generalized niche like tech, where you can promote everything from headphones to monitors to phones to, you know, things of that nature. But I
Yes.
agree with
So,
you.
but going back to your question, so
Mm-hmm.
it's the barrier to enter. It's just absolutely crazy. So what I was
Right.
doing is I was focused for like I was doing probably 3 or 4 products at a time. Each product has its own dedicated page. So
Okay. On TikTok.
on TikTok, on
Right.
YouTube, on Instagram, I was cross posting each platforms because some of them might go viral. It could go viral in all three at the same time, or either just on
Sure.
YouTube Shorts or just on TikTok. So I was just picking up same content and posting all these 3 platforms and probably 3 or 4 products at the same time. So I recorded a video or 2 for each product every day and cross posted on those platforms. I have to run specific websites for each product, deal with different suppliers for each product, um, dealing
That's
with
so much work.
yeah, dealing with customer support, complaints, returns, all sort of stuff, processing payment.
Right.
So it's crazy. And the worst thing about it is it's just like every time you posted a video, you're just like praying to go viral because if into drop shipping, if I think if you don't cross like over 50K or 100K at least, I don't think you're going to make a single sale. And people
Right.
have to go to the whole process to go to your bio, click to the link, go to your website, look for the product, go to the checkout. So it's just crazy.
It's a
With
lot of steps
TikTok,
involved.
with
Yeah.
TikTok, if you have like a 5,000 views video, you can still make a sale. And up to there, like every 1,200 views, 2,000 views, you make a sale every time. And for the longevity of the video, like until it stays on, you're gonna still be making sales unless they like died out completely.
Right. I have videos that are 6 months old on my old account that still produce sales to this day. and it's just,
Yep.
it's trickle effect. It's not a whole lot of views per day. It's maybe 1,000 views a day on some of those videos, but they're still producing sales because you're 100% right. When people come across a dropshipping product on TikTok that's not a part of the affiliate program, not on TikTok Shop, the steps needed to go buy that product are unnecessary. Whereas the affiliate program, TikTok Shop, people come across your video, there's a link embedded right there inside your video. They click on it, they go through the entire checkout process, and then guess what? All they got to do is swipe back and they're right back to their scrolling experience. It's so seamless and it's all integrated in one place. It's just so much better. It blows my mind that more people aren't jumping onto the affiliate side of things over the dropshipping side of things. And the people who have done really, really well with organic dropshipping, I think can do extremely well on the affiliate side, but I think they're stuck a lot of times in those ways because that's what they know.
Yep.
But they'd be surprised at the power of the affiliate marketing on TikTok Shop. I mean, it's the only business I know that can produce explosive gains, very similar to stock and crypto in terms of your overall gain that can come out of what you put into it.
Absolutely.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
it does take a little bit of time. It took me
It does.
probably 2 weeks to just sort of adjust. I already knew how to make content. I already have went viral several times. It was a matter of time of me just adjusting the content to be a shoppable TikTok video, and it's a completely different beast. Like it's not a dropshipping video. It's not a UGC video. It's something that you have to mix within you For You page, and you have to be able to make people to stop whatever they're doing and eventually just click into the orange link. That's it.
100%. You have to fit it seamlessly into their scrolling experience because people aren't on TikTok to be sold. They could give a shit less about an ad. They're on TikTok to laugh. They're on TikTok to have a good experience. And when these videos that are blatant ads get put in front of you, a lot of people will scroll right past. So what is your tactic when it comes to stopping the scroll? How do you implement hooks? Do you have a specific style of hook that you implement? Are you visual? Are you audible? What do you do?
I try to do a mix of like those three. So
Okay.
visual, audio, and a text hook.
Okay.
I think I'm 90% of my videos, or at least like the latest ones, they all have a text hook. So that's something I'm trying to implement in all the videos. I don't think all the videos will fit a specific visual hook. But
Sure.
I have videos that with the craziest visual hook. I recorded a couple weeks ago my case study to the Social Army,
Oh, I'm
and
excited for that one. This is great.
one of the videos was about like this water flosser, and that has like the craziest hook ever. That's audio, that's visual, and that's a text hook as well.
Good.
But at least a text hook and audio hook as well.
Yeah, that text on screen. A lot of people don't realize how powerful that truly can be, and even if it is just a few, if it's takes somebody 2 seconds to read it, that's 2 seconds into the video that they're already watching, and sometimes they miss what happened on screen if you also include a visual hook. So they scroll up, scroll down, and now they're rewatching the video again. So I mean,
I'll tell you
it
what,
helps.
another thing that I'm doing is adding captions. Even though you have like the automated generated,
Interesting.
I'm adding captions, um, specifically in Spanish, because otherwise there will be automated generated, miss one thing here and there. But one really important thing that I have learned is a lot of people watch their content with the audio off.
Yes, I do. Personally, I do.
So when you have captions, when you have a text on screen, you have probably two additional tools to make people stop, because if they're just hearing what you're saying, they have their audio off, they're automatically just going to scroll by.
Sure. That's interesting you say that. I just made a video yesterday, actually, debunking some of the things that people swear by on TikTok Shop and that swear make it better. One of those was putting your own captions on a video, because TikTok does place its own captions there for you. And anybody who is hearing impaired, odds are have that option toggled on, so that way they have captions in place, so that way they can read what's going on. However, you do bring a very valid point, especially in Spanish or a different language. With your Spanish probably not being extremely fluent,
Yeah.
the auto captions aren't going to capture everything correctly. So putting your own captions probably does help those who are reading it understand it better instead of missing out on a word like your neck pillow
Exactly,
situation.
and I'm making my content to Spanish speakers. That's it.
Right.
If you have your phone set up like you have your phone set up in English, you're going to have automatic generated captions in English. So
Correct.
even if you watching this in Spanish, you will have the captions in English. But if someone doesn't have their phone set up in Spanish, they'll have the same in Spanish, but mostly of the time they will just have the captions wrong.
That's insane. That's extremely smart, though. I mean, especially in your case, or it could pick up and mistranslate the wrong word, at any given time. And when you're not watching it with sound to try to understand what the person's saying, it may be a word that's extremely close to another one, and they can't pick it up audibly if they're just reading it. So that's really smart.
And I have split tested probably, I don't know, 10, 20 times. Everything with captions for me works best.
That's such a dropshipper thing to say. I've split tested these. I love that. Most people who do just affiliate marketing don't realize that split testing is powerful. I mean, it really is. If you make one video and then replicate that video and, maybe just change your shirt or change your hat or change the wording that you have in there, it's extremely powerful because one might take off while the other might just fall flat on its face.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
no,
I was actually on a call
powerful.
the other day, and inside of the community, and I was just saying that because I think a lot of people have their script like just perfectly dialed down, so everything towards the middle by the end is perfect, but they tend to fail a lot into the hook, and sometimes the hook is enough. So if you just use everything exactly as you did, and then just change the hook, as you said, or maybe the background, or one thing or another to make people stop, there's a higher chance you have more views.
100%. I mean, this is purely a numbers game. I mean, anybody who's been doing this a while now understands that. And for those of you that are new, the goal of this is to put out as much content as you possibly can. If you're just starting out in the beginning and you don't know how to make quality content, the quantity will produce quality over time. And then once you start getting really good at it, the goal then is to start testing different ways of making that same quality content to appeal to different audiences. And that's where it comes in. Like you said, just testing little things here and there and constantly putting out a lot of the same similar content. It might feel washed. You might feel like you're rinsing and repeating something that just doesn't make sense. But guess what? Your followers aren't the ones that are seeing that content. It's the For You page. It gets pushed out to a new audience almost every time. So it's definitely worth doing. I love that. Hearing that different perspective is great.
And I like to, I mean, barrier to entry is crazy. Like,
It is. Oh my God, it is.
Because I would love to be like one of those people like Matt Calla that you can just, point a phone and then just this, and start talking over and over and over about a product. Like, I cannot do that at all.
Right.
And most important, I cannot do that in Spanish.
Right.
So I spend a lot of time creating my own script, and worst thing, and that's one of the issues that I have right now. So I write everything in English, and then I translate it to Spanish. I use AI to translate it to Spanish. A lot of the times they're just wrong, and I know because I know how to speak, but I'm just not confident enough to write it down everything in Spanish. And I have to tweak every little thing here and there that I come up with back into the translator. So it's a whole processing. So right now, I would love to put out like 10, 15 videos a day. I just simply cannot. It's just not humane. Going to the whole process of right now that I'm thinking, it's not about creating the video itself. It's scripting, picking up the products. And I'm very strategic about picking up products. So it takes me sometimes to make or put up a video.
Can we talk about your product selection process and what you involved in that? Because me personally, I find things that are more passion style products, things that I have an experience to talk about with, right? So a lot of the times it's just anything tech related or anything parent or kid related, right? Because I'm a father of 4. But for you say you're extremely strategic about that, and I can understand why you are, because you're posting in a different language. Can you talk a little bit about that process and how you go to select some things?
So I love tech, like everything about tech, like you can imagine. I name it like equipment, lighting, camera. Like I love all that sort of stuff.
It's awesome. I love that stuff too.
That would be like sort of my comfortable wheelhouse, like that products that I'm passionate about working.
Right.
And that's like an evergreen niche. Like it works pretty well.
Yes.
But funny enough, it's not something that I'm focusing on the moment. So what I'm trying to do is trying to understand or find specific gaps of content of viral videos or current viral products that's going on at the moment that the people has been doing over and over in English that has not been done so far in Spanish. So I try to look it up. I search for videos for the week, for the month. I look it up for ashwagandha. It's not the best example, but you understand. So
Yeah.
I look it up for ashwagandha, top 10 videos. They're all in English. So that's a video that I should be doing or a product that I should be doing in Spanish.
That's actually extremely smart for anybody who's creating Spanish content. Take that to heart. That's extremely smart because if it's going viral in English and doing well in English, odds are it'll kill on the Spanish side. You know,
It
it's
will.
we're all
It
the
will.
same people. We just speak different languages. You know, I mean, there's no differences there. That's insane.
It
That's
will. So
extremely smart.
right now we are like getting into a time that we're getting more and more Spanish content creators, so it's hard to
Yes.
find that sort of product. Um, that's why I'm saying it's like a little bit time consuming for me. But it's every time I do a video following up this framework, I go viral.
That's
Like that
crazy.
that's simply it.
And
So
I've
in
watched you go viral multiple times on several different products, and I love seeing it because every time you come across my For You page, I'm like, ah, there he is. I love that stuff.
Yeah, like at this point, I have over 13 videos with over 1 million views.
God damn.
So doing the math, that's like what four or five videos per month.
Going
So
viral. Yeah, that's crazy.
that's a lot. Yeah,
And I'm sure you have multiple others in the hundreds of thousands of view range, right?
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot. Like 500K, 100K. Yeah, just
Yeah,
talking
lots of
about
them.
1 million over 13 videos. Yeah.
Yeah. How many videos do you think you've posted in this 100 day period, somewhere around there?
I haven't count, but to be honest, not much. Not much.
Okay.
Again, focusing a lot into quality over quantity. Right now, part of my goal is trying to teach my girlfriend. So first weeks, like learn how to edit. So I'll be putting up more content and teaching her how to edit the videos, that sort of stuff. And we're going to be, like going back and forward. I'll help her out with her own content, and then we might have like a specific couples account. So we're doing skits, that sort of stuff, like doing my product with her products and vice versa. So I have a lot of strategies like going on for the next few months.
I'm excited to see some skit content coming out of you and her because we have a couple inside of the group, Rubio and Maddie, who destroy it with skits. I mean, they do
Yep.
really, really well. And my wife and I think, are going to start doing that. I'm starting to get her involved in this as well. And we just made 2 skit videos the other day, and one of them is already at 40,000 views in 2 days. So I'm hoping, that skit style of content really does pick up, and seeing it in with you guys and in Spanish would be amazing because I'm sure the Spanish community would
Yeah,
go crazy for skit content.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't understand what it is about that, but skits work between couples really well, and people do really, really good with them. We have another creator by the name of PNW Dad, who does it with him and his wife, and they kill it with skits sometimes here and there too. So that's awesome to hear. I love that, and the fact that you're going to teach her Spanish is crazy. That's awesome. What are you
I
using to
have
teach her that?
I have already put up like I think two skits video with
2 of
her.
them.
Didn't blow up yet, but I think it was a really really cool video. But it should just say like 2 3 words here and there.
Right.
Um, so I think again Portuguese is very similar to Spanish.
Right.
I sort of I gave her like a full script, and I just say like read those 2 paragraphs. If you can read this, you hired. And she actually killed it. Like she did
Good.
pretty good. Obviously, another thing now is just memorizing there, doing in front of the camera. But she's really hard work. I love that about her. I think she's gonna crush it. And I mean, being by my side, I'm a really good teacher. I'm gonna help her out like
Good.
all the way as well. So I think we're gonna crush it, man.
I think so too. I think you guys will do great. You just said something too that I might even give this a shot. I'm really good at memorizing things. Like I can memorize an entire script verbatim, probably within like 30 minutes time. I'm curious if I can memorize it in Spanish and maybe just put out a Spanish video on an account that I have because I have an account that's got affiliate permissions, but I haven't started posting on it yet. So I might give that a shot. You see this little white boy out there trying to speak Spanish, selling content or selling products.
I'm not really good on memorizing, like,
Right.
but after I've done, like right now, I've been doing a lot of, Goalie ashwagandha product, and I'm actually helping you guys out under the social army community because I have
Yes, I love that.
great success on that. So right now, that's a product that I'm really comfortable with, pretty much all the scripts I have done. So I can talk over and over. So right now, it gives me the confidence that I can not even look into the script to talk about ashwagandha and that sort of stuff. So again, it comes with practice. But if I just
Yes.
pick this up right now, I cannot talk about that. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. So speaking of social army, man, how long have you been a part of us? You've been killing it on the leaderboards that we have with our personalized links on your account. But how long have you been a part of social army?
I think a little bit over 2 months. So
Okay.
right after my first month, I joined in. Yeah.
How did you hear about us? Was it through TikTok? Was it through somebody's TikTok live? Whoops.
It was from you. Like I saw one
Oh,
of
okay.
your videos in my For You page. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good. So joining with us, man, has there, granted, I know you do things, slightly different than the majority of us, but what has there been anything that has happened with inside either the community or the course or with the case studies or anything of that nature, or hell, even the podcasts that have helped you along your journey with everything that you're doing?
I mean, I'm not gonna say like it helped me. Like I watched the whole thing. I watched all the podcasts, like things that we're doing right now. I watch all the main course. I have gone
Sure.
through all of that. Like even though back in my mind I already knew it, I have
Right.
gone through all of that, obviously to still learn. But I think the main purpose of a community like have as Social Army is exactly what it says. Like it's having a community. So that's creating content. I'm doing this by myself. My girlfriend's just going to join
Right.
in a month or so. I'm doing this by myself. I have pretty much no one to talk about this. If I talk this to my friends, I sound like a lunatic, or they don't even know.
Right.
They don't even know what I'm talking about. So what Social Army has given to me is a community. So like people that I can share my experience, people like like minded, people who are facing the same issues, but they're sharing the same wins. So I think it's a game changer. I have popped up in other communities here and there, and they still have how can I say that sort of 20 years old, drop shipping style, Lambo,
Yes.
Rolex. That's personally not my style. Like that's not
Right.
it. Like I have different aspirations. So I'm really happy to be in Social Army because I have found people that have sort of the same aspiration as I'm and sort of the same goals. Like everyone is different, and you can have your own goal.
Sure.
You can still look it up for your Lambo, your Rolex. You're cool, man. But I think the whole community has a different sense, a whole different vibe. And when you find that sort of place that you're comfortable with, I mean, you just sit there.
Right. And that's exactly what we've aimed to build it. Don't get me wrong. I like the materialistic things, but the majority of us inside Social Army are a little bit on the older side. I mean, I did a poll during one of our lives and I asked, who was over 30 and who was under 30. The majority of the people that were there were over 30 years old.
Yeah.
So you don't have that young buck, I've got to make $100,000 in a month, go buy my Lambo so I can show it off on the internet type of mentality throughout the community. Again, not that that's a bad thing. That there's specific
Exactly.
places for that. However, what we've built inside Social Army is not catered to just specifically showing off the materialistic things. A lot of us in here are looking to find the means of getting away from a 9 to 5 or find the means of creating enough income on the side to help our significant other in our day-to-day lives. And that's exactly what we've built is a community full of those types of individuals that help uplift each other as they go on. We have people in there making, anywhere from $1 to $10 a day on TikTok, and they're ecstatic about it because they're making money outside of their job. Then we have others who post in the win sections where they've done $30,000 in the last 7 days. they're absolutely killing it. But now they're not posting that to gloat in the fact that, hey, I'm doing better than you. They're posting that to say, like, look, I'm just like you. I'm an everyday individual who just so happened to make $30,000 this week because of this beautiful thing called TikTok Shop. And I love that about Social Army's community and what we've built on the inside, because like you said, you can't just go talk to your friends about this kind of stuff, because when you make this kind of money and you go talk to an everyday person in that sense who isn't a part of this, they look at you like you're crazy. And a lot of the times they take it as, this guy's probably just bragging, or, you know, he's coming to me telling me he made $50,000 this month. Cool. I didn't make that. Why are you telling me this kind of stuff? Because I had a couple of friends who were like that, and it's unfortunate that they see it in that sense, and that's not at all how it is. But it's a lonely road when you don't have anybody else to talk to about those wins, because they just don't understand. So building this community that brings the focus around everybody who's finding that same common ground is amazing to see and amazing to have, because you can go talk to people, and then you got people like Matt Kalla who are in the group, you know, who are just doing things that, in my mind, are just astronomical in comparison. I mean, that man posts 15, 20 videos a day, picks up a phone. This is a Roku remote that's going to change your life. Let me show you how, you know, and goes in and just makes amazing videos about it. But you can talk to those people, and it's great to see.
Absolutely. Like everyone is, you know, trying to be very accessible. As you said, Matt, like if you tag him, if you just ask him anything, like obviously they're not there 24/7 because he's recording 20
Right.
videos.
Right.
But still he answer a lot of people's
Yes.
and engage with everyone else. I remember like an episode that we have a couple weeks ago, like TikTok has this sort of major glitch. I was actually like the second person to notice. And we've been there, you know, that sort of stuff like happened a lot of times. I didn't freak out like for a second. I just like
Right.
look it up to my phone and I said, maybe someone else in Social Army have already noticed this. And funny enough, one guy had already posted like, have you experienced this? Like, have you guys doing this? And I was the second person to comment. And after that was like, I don't know, maybe 100,000.
It was a wave.
Like,
That I had to go in there and try to calm people down. It was crazy. Yeah.
And man, and funny enough, like if you're not part of that community, if you're not like talking to that, you know, persons, you know, trying communicating to understand what's going on, I think you're just freaking the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And funny enough, we made like the whole situation, like it was just so funny, so funny. We made like a really bad thing into like, you know, a fun thing.
It was a joke. I mean, it turned into a laughing matter at the end of the day, because everyone was experiencing it. We all knew at the end of the day it was TikTok doing TikTok things. They broke their system once again, you know, but TikTok's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It's ran by an AI in a lot of areas, so it's going to have its mistakes. And but you're 100% right. We turned a freak out situation into more of a comedy session, because the more people that would come in and send a screenshot, hey, are you guys experiencing this? You're banned. Oh my God, you're losing your account. You know, people were just joking with them, and it was fun. It was pretty funny. I had to calm quite a few people down though, because it was a true freak out session.
And that type of things, like, you know, keep on happening. And it's not just about, you know, glitches, all sort of stuff. It's pretty much anything matters to TikTok Shop. So any sort of doubt, things that you have crossed your mind, you just comment right there. I'm 100% convinced that all other persons have already faced it there, and they might have an answer for you. So if you're not inside of that sort of community, what are you going to do? Like, I don't know, go to Google, go to Twitter, Facebook. I don't know. That's it.
And you can't Google anything related to TikTok Shop, because Google has no information about it. You know, it's kind of tough. In the very beginning, before I found a community that had the responsiveness that I was looking for, and before we built Social Army, I would Google some of the issues I was having, and you can't find any information, none whatsoever. There's a few forums out there, but they're not trustworthy, and they're not updated with the information you're looking for. So being a part of a community like this, where you have 3,000 individuals who are active daily and experiencing all the same things that we all experience, going in there for the clarification is one of the best things to have. It's just it's an encyclopedia essentially, but it's a community's community, man. It's ran by the people. We love it. We love it. That's awesome, dude. Dude, seeing your success on this is just great. I've interviewed, I think you're the 17th or 18th person that I've interviewed doing this, and it never ceases to amaze me, everybody's story and where it comes from. Nothing has ever been the same from one person to another. And in a lot of areas, it just becomes more mind-boggling to me, especially your case. Like, taking a third language and turning it into something that's extremely profitable for you without much spend going into it or much capital or anything of that nature is just crazy. I mean, you took the skills that you have already developed for yourself and the willpower want to find success in something, and you turn it into something worth your while, worth your time, and have proven to be very good at it. So I love to see that. I love to see that. That's awesome.
It's awesome, man. I mean, I haven't spoke about it. I mean, but I'm already 30 years old, so I'm not
Right.
I'm not that young. I knew that I had a profession. Like that's what I had. Like in the worst case scenario, I was going to be back what I was doing. So I'm
Right.
a civil engineer. I've been working in construction my whole life, but mostly into sales. So everything related to commercial stuff into construction. So that's what I was doing prior to anything, and still having that full-time job. I was drop shipping. So I was in a very secure place, like that type of job that if you want, you can work for like 20, 30 years. That type of company, that type of job. So something that will give you the assurance that you know you're not gonna miss anything. That's pretty much it. That type of company that most of the people like have been working there for like 20 years. So the only sort of choice that I have, like pursuing that career, is to do the same old thing. Like, and in the back of my mind, like I knew it. I'm not that kind of person. Like, for a period of time, I thought that I could have just settle down and then just chill. Like, let's work as I'm already retired. Let's work this in this sort of corporate job that it's like pretty chill, if I say so. Um, but that's never what I wanted to do, like personally, like at all.
That's good. And you found a great way out. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean it you quit in January and it really took 6, 7 months to pop off. And
Yeah.
the thought of having to go back to work to at least keep the bills paid while still continuing to try to find something on the outside was there. And a lot of, when I quit my job, a lot of people were like, "Oh, you'll be back at the dealership in a week. You'll be back in a month. This is a fad. This is short term. TikTok's going to go away. Blah 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 blah." Sure, but I had made so much money at that time in 1 month's time that even if that was the case, I had a year's worth of income to live off of, to find a different avenue, to find a different route, and luckily the day I decided to quit was one of the best days ever because so many different opportunities fell into my lap all at once, and I was able to capitalize off of them. And one of the biggest and the one that I am most proud of is the opportunity to create Social Army with my wonderful partners. Stan, Jasper, and Basil, and you've had the pleasure of being able to meet. I think Stan, right? I don't know if you've met the other two just yet, but you have had in conversation with them, and just an amazing group of guys. And the fact that we all found each other right at that same time and were able to create what we created here gave me a secondary opportunity outside of the TikTok shop and its affiliate marketing. So sometimes you've got to take a leap of faith. And you took a big one and you were without for 6 months. Now, granted, I don't know what you were making in between January to the affiliate side of things with drop shipping, if much or anything at all, because that is kind of a volatile uh, business as well, because the unknowns are massive. Are you going to be able to keep up with demand? Are you going to be able to get something to work? Are you going to be able to keep your website up and going? Are you going to be able to have supply? Are there going to be problems with the product itself? Are people going to want to return it? Are people going to absolutely hate your shipping times? There's so many factors that go into that. But with this, you post the video, somebody doesn't like it, guess what? You don't have to deal with it. It's all on the supplier's end of things, right? And it's amazing. It's amazing
You don't
what
have, to go through the whole habit, the whole, cycle of, that you
right.
actually do to be a drop shipper. So what happened here today, if you request a sample, you done a video, the worst thing that could happen is you get low views. That's it. And then just
Yep.
do the other ones that you're doing great, and you do it over and over, and you're going to be great. And if that product doesn't work for you, I mean, maybe you give it another chance and you do it again and you might do great that time. So that's the worst thing that can happen for you is just you have low views. That's it. And then
Yep.
obviously let's talk about violation, losing the account,
Right.
but that's another topic. But again, the worst thing could happen is I think is you lose your account and you lose your funds. But then again, what are you gonna do? It just you already know
Right.
how to make content that you already have been successful doing. So you just do it again.
And at the end of the day, too, I mean, the funds being lost, yes, that does suck. I've had it happen to me before, but there's no capital involved in losing those funds. It's not like you invested 10 grand into um, stock on a certain product or on having a website built or anything of that nature. You invested 10, 15, 20 minutes of your time, however long it took you to make the video, and it pops off. You make a few $1,000s, and then your account, gets banned or the video gets taken down and your funds get frozen. Yes, it does suck. I'm not trying to downplay the fact that it sucks in any way, shape, or form, but it's less of a suck than if it were to be an entire business that you dropped a lot of capital into. So, like you said, the worst that can happen is you lose your account. And at the end of the day, you know how easy it is to start and grow or find access to another account. It's pretty simple to do.
Yep.
So the possibilities are really endless with the affiliate program on TikTok Shop, and I absolutely love it. And seeing as many creators as we have now pop off and do as well as they're doing, and having amazing individuals like yourself be part of our community, and hopefully building into that Spanish side of our community as well, is going to be huge. And for those of you guys just watching this, is your case study published yet? I think it is, right? Or is it publishing alongside? Not yet? Okay.
They should be posting this week, I think.
Okay. So we will be launching a case study with Joao in there, so that way everyone can go watch it. It's going to be an amazing case study, and it'll be the first one that we have of a Spanish-speaking creator. So this is going to be extremely interesting, and if you guys are curious to join the community or anything of that nature, we will be including a link right down below this YouTube video. If you're watching it on YouTube, I believe there's an area for us to include links on Spotify and Apple. If not, come over to the YouTube side of things. There will be a link down below. That link that's going to be there will be his link, so you'll be directly supporting him if you do decide to join. But I definitely urge everybody who's looking for a place to start or looking for a community to be in to consider joining Social Army. We're a very diverse and extremely helpful group of individuals that only want to see you succeed. We don't gatekeep, we don't hide things, and we sure as hell do not. What's the word I'm looking for here? We don't make you feel out of place, no matter how small or how big of a creator you are. Everything inside is inclusive, and we want to make sure that everyone has a fair chance of being successful with this, because we all know how it feels to be kind of lost in this giant sea of bullshit, for lack of a better term, because TikTok is a mess. And now we have amazing individuals here who speak Spanish and can help a lot of the Spanish creators as well. So I'm sure he's got an open book inside the community if you guys ever have any questions for him. But before we get out of here, man, do you have any last things that you'd kind of like to put out there that maybe we haven't spoken about, or something you wanted to talk about that we didn't really jump into?
Main thing I would just say to everyone is watching is just keep going. Like, I think
Yes.
you will only lose if you quit. That's it. If you decided today, like you've probably been doing this for, like, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. If you have not go viral yet, if you have not made much sales, if tomorrow you decide to not make any sort of video, like, I think that's when you lose. Like, that's the point when you lose. It's when you quit. Like, if you keep going, you're gonna crush it. It's a matter of time.
100%. And you just got to continuously find ways to improve what you're currently doing. Don't, if you're getting low views, don't continue to make the video the exact same way, because at that point, if you make one video and it got low views, and you make 10 more of the exact same video and it continuously getting low views, that's the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You have to constantly improve the quality of your content and whatever it is that you're doing if you want to find success. And also, too, look at the other successful creators that are out there. Mimic what they do in your own way. You'd be surprised on how viral you can go by finding some other successful creators' content and putting it into your own way. You'd be very surprised. So I love that.
Absolutely.
Joao, dude, I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you for being on with us today. I would love to possibly even do a part 2 with this once you and your girl get going on some skits. I'd love to see that success story. That'd be pretty cool.
We'll definitely do in 2025. Give me just a couple of months. Let's warm things up. 2025, we're going to have like a couples podcast.
That's awesome. I'm excited for it. Well, hey, thank you again for being here today. Everybody that's watching, don't forget, if you guys want to follow us, all of our socials will be linked down below. Any one of his socials that he is willing to share will also be linked down below for you guys to go check out. But outside of that, I appreciate you guys for being here, and this wraps up another episode of the Social Army Podcast. Joao, thank you so much, man. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Bryce.